welcome to the Spot Lite Cast, episode 2. Before I start the episode, I would like to thank Closure Moscow for letting us use their song once again. They're on tour with Coheed and Cambria at the moment, so if you want to go see Closure Moscow, you should definitely check out Coheed and Cambria as well. So, today we're here with Nathan, or Nate as he's also known. And we're talking to him about his new YouTube channel called Inform.
Yes, it's a thing now.
It's a thing. So tell us about it. What is this thing? What is this YouTube channel?
So this YouTube channel is basically me being able to explain science in news articles and news topics in a way that everyone can kind of understand. It has been interesting with some of the articles because some of them go like really in depth into the scientific concepts, and being able to try and break them down into terms can be difficult. But I just wanted to enjoy science again, really was the main thing. And yeah, I'm actually really enjoying it so far. Kind of incorporating a hobby and a joy for science into something that I can work at, which is really, really good.
Yeah, good. Because you are a high school teacher, aren't you?
Yes, I am a high school science and math teacher, and I'm into my 3rd year of teaching so far.
Cool. And so you figured you kind of know what people like to hear about in science and mathematics, that you might want to move that to online videos, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the things that I've definitely noticed, especially because of my clientele, which is teenagers, very, very gifted teenagers, to say the least, some concepts can sometimes go beyond them. And the thing about being a teacher is that we have to present content in a way that anyone can obtain and learn and understand from. So whether that be like visuals or verbals and stuff like that, you need to be able to explain it in a context that anyone can really understand. Definitely. But a lot of the time when doing like research, I'll see something cool, a cool science article or something like that. I'll just be like, oh, that was really, really sick. How can I teach it to my kids instead of actually just enjoying the science behind it?
Yeah, and I find that it's really good to do it this way because it's showing kind of the application of science. And often we are bombarded by different science articles, but we don't know exactly how that fits in with the rest of the world.
Yeah, exactly. So the format that I'm doing it in is short little videos, as well as posts on the Facebook page and the Instagram page and Twitter. So some of those mediums limit me to the amount of information that I can put in there. So I need to format the main point of the article in a way that can be explained in 140 characters while showing a link to the article or an image that's related to the article, which definitely brings you the amount of words you can put in it down. So and the YouTube videos, each of my articles only goes for about 30 seconds to 45 seconds to try and just get to the point. Yeah. Which it has been hard with some of the really in-depth articles that have lots of applications outside of that individual story itself. So
so I've watched the first 2 episodes that you've put out.
Thank you.
The second one came out today.
Yes, it came out this morning, a couple of hours ago.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I did really like about them. They were very much to the point, and they were interesting. And you kind of talked about the positives and the negative sides of both things, and how it was relevant to society, I guess. Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to sugarcoat it, and I want to respect the viewers enough that they can understand the content that I'm giving it to them. So some of the more higher order thinking stuff that I will try and break down. Some of it's even too hard for me, some of the parameters. But yeah, just to the point, just giving the people the information that they need to know. What's important from that story is the aim of that. So
yeah, I mean, one article in particular was the article that you talked about with DNA storage.
Yeah, that one's sick.
Yeah.
That one's really cool. I'm really enthusiastic about that one, actually.
Yeah, it's a really cool concept. Do you want to kind of go into it just briefly? Or?
Yeah, so basically what some scientists have been able to do is they've been successfully able to code a digital image, so from ones and zeros into particular nucleotide sequences. So they're the building blocks for your DNA. All humans, all living things on this planet have 4 base pairs, which are adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. running, and putting them in particular combinations turned into ones and zeros.
Yeah.
So they had a really complex algorithm which was able to convert these ones and zeros into sequences of base pairs, and then bring that back out of that sequence into ones and zeros again without losing any data on the DNA whatsoever.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's insane. And the thing is that they're able to store, I think they only did it with 4 images.
Okay.
And
do you know what the images were?
I don't know what the images were. They didn't share that information.
I hope it was a cat photo.
Yeah, I hope it was a cat photo or like a horrible meme or something like that. It would have been great. Or the Batman slapping Robin comic book cut that a lot of people see on the interwebs. But yeah, so they were able to successfully do that, and the idea is amazing for data storage and stuff like that. So
of course,
1 terabyte hard drives are just going to be blown out of the window.
Yeah, you can store it in nothing. Yeah. Yeah,
you could have a couple of 100 terabytes basically on a USB stick.
Yeah.
Because it's just so compact, and it's just such a unique idea of doing it. But the downside is that the generation of this, it's all synthetic DNA. So unfortunately, we just can't strip the DNA of a human out, because that's bad.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that at home if you've got the equipment to be able to do so. But generating the synthetic DNA and then being able to convert it from ones and zeros to base pairs and then back into ones and zeros is a really expensive process. So they're currently hoping for more interest and investment to hopefully get it propelled forward, because I don't think anyone, I know, what was it, University of Washington and Microsoft researchers, they were the ones who were working on it, but they just need more external interest and investment into the topic.
Of course, yeah.
So I got excited about that one.
Rightly so.
And I don't have to teach my kids it, which is sick, which is awesome.
Yeah. And I think the really interesting thing is that DNA doesn't deteriorate in the same way that hard drives do, so it can last like hundreds of years.
Yeah, the half-life of DNA is a lot longer than anything else, really. DNA does degrade over time and stuff like that. That's why we can't just clone mammoths, because their DNA is broken, which is a whole other
We've all seen Jurassic Park.
Yeah, we've all seen Jurassic Park. It could potentially happen, but their DNA has broken down into those nucleotides and not in complete sequences. But because it is synthetic, we can potentially stop it from breaking down at all, like even
and we can
with
repair
use, and even with use and repair, it's going to definitely prolong that lifespan of it, which is going to be sick. I can just imagine like putting a little USB in one of those time capsule vaults and putting it into the earth, and then coming back a couple of 100,000 years later down the track and just seeing the stupid stuff that we worried about in this day and age. But
it lasts forever, unfortunately. Now, considering you work in a high school, is there a temptation to show your own videos during your own class? Is there a
temptation? A little bit. There is another teacher who I work with, who we've kind of just thought about recording experiments.
Okay.
So some of the more dangerous experiments that we have attempted to do in the past but couldn't get permission to do, we've thought about just simply recording them and making them a demonstration, or just having lessons in a media format. So because a lot of the time, if you stand in front of particular students, a lot of the time they switch off like that. Whereas if you've got moving pictures in front of them, a lot of the time it increases their level of engagement, especially if we were able to edit our voices with videos and pictures and diagrams and constantly change it. Exactly. Instead of a simple chalk and talk lesson with the teacher up the front and a whiteboard.
Chalk and talk, I like that.
Yeah, chalk and talk, man. It's some of your lessons have to be like that, and it's hard, but then you get onto the experiments and the fire.
The fire.
Yeah.
The fire that is science.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. All right, so Nathan, you used to be part of Geek Bomb.
Yes.
How has the transition gone from doing those sort of videos to these sort of videos now?
There actually hasn't been too much of a change. When I was working for Geek Bomb, I was definitely doing reviewing different games and movies, and I was also going to conventions and doing coverage there and a lot of the social media aspects. But when I was working with Geek Bomb, they were also getting me to do science videos as well. It was a segment called Rack Your Brains, and there was a theme each month type thing. So like I did the science behind chocolate. I did the science behind women, which a lot of people actually really enjoyed, which I was terrified about when I was actually recording it. So I did a lot of videos there, and they went for a lot longer. So some of those, the very first video that I did, I was really, really nervous about how much content I was actually generating and if I would be able to cut it back. And it turned out like being like me recording for about 30, 40 minutes and cutting it down to about 15 minutes because I felt like all of it was relevant, which definitely that one was the very first one, which was the science of love, which is...
Well, it's a big topic.
Yeah, it is a very... The science
I've heard.
I've read it in books and seen on the interwebs about love. But it was broken down to the science behind love and lust and like kind of differentiating between the two.
The chemical process.
Yeah, on a physiological level. And yeah, so that was my first video that I did.
Wow, big one,
But yeah, it was really, really good. So they were definitely using my knowledge in that aspect. But I did really enjoy it. We did try to relate some of it to games and stuff like that whenever we could, or at least making some game references. So to kind of bring it back to the general feel of what Geek Bomb was. But I did have a lot of creative freedom on it, and I was able to pitch a list of articles and ideas that I wanted to do and get the yay or the nay and try and spin it differently. That's but cool. it was lots of fun. I definitely picked up a lot of useful skills from that, and also identifying like what information was relevant, like being able to pick apart an article for what it's worth.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely good.
Cool. Now on YouTube, there are so many different channels out there. So there are so many different videos and people trying to give out information. It's good that people want to share, but sometimes we can go too far or there's too much information out there.
Yes, there's always too much information out there.
So why should we watch your channel?
The reason why you should watch my channel is because I like to keep it simple. I do understand that there are some science articles and some science channels and stuff like that which will have fancy graphics and all this stuff like that, which is definitely perfect for the clientele that watch that. I use a lot of them in my classes.
Of course.
A lot of the highly animated ones because kids love moving pictures. Who would have thought? But the reason why I like my channel in particular is just because I'm kind of really doing it for me, which is such a selfish thing to actually really say. But I'm using it as a medium to get excited about science again. And it definitely has been that. I am getting a lot more enjoyment from the idea of science, flicking through articles in the middle of the night, trying to find content and stumbling across those gems that I'm just like, oh, this is really, really good.
Yeah.
But I'm bringing people's attention to science that's happening. So a lot of the articles that I'm posting is only like within the last week and stuff like that. And I'm trying to break it down in a context so that no matter where you are in the world, no matter your lifestyle or your current situation, the context and the information is going to be relevant to you guys and you are going to hopefully enjoy it and find it really interesting. I've actually been really lucky. I've had a lot of friends who have been watching the video and been giving me feedback on all of my things. So hopefully it's going to get better over time. I can only get better.
So. Yeah,
fingers crossed. But I've been getting lots of support and lots of really, really great feedback and pushes to do it and just to build up some momentum.
Cool.
But yeah, it's lots of fun, and I definitely recommend watching it. I enjoy it.
I recommend it too. It is. It's
two people recommend it. Yes.
We've got 2 viewers so far. That sounds good.
3 viewers.
3 viewers. Excellent.
3 viewers.
Numbers are just coming in.
Straight off the presses.
And you mentioned it before, kind of that you're looking more at science articles within the last week or 2, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that going to be the plan in the future? That will you have like concept videos where you look at just one thing, maybe just chocolate or love again?
Yeah. So at the moment, I'm keeping it exclusive to news articles that have happened within the last week and keeping it slightly relevant. There was one in the video that I just released that was a little bit older, but it's a continuation from the 2 parents that found that cyclodextrin could be used to decrease the levels of cholesterol with their twin daughters.
Yeah.
That one happened back in 2007, but it's only been recently, within the last couple of months, that they've actually started using cyclodextrin to treat the symptoms of individuals that have NPC. So there are some like older articles of things that have happened, but there's been a development that's recently happened.
Yeah.
Moving on to concept-specific videos, could definitely be something that I do in the future.
Yeah.
I've had work colleagues say that they want good videos on like these topics for their next unit, and if I could get onto it right away, they'd much appreciate it.
That'd
They
be
know
good.
who they are. But yeah, I think a lot of the time those types of videos do require good levels of animation and stuff like that. That is quite captivating to a younger generation that you're teaching a slightly more complex concept to, that they might not understand or immediately see the real world applications of.
Yeah.
So they need moving pictures instead of me just standing up against a wall talking.
We all need moving pictures.
we all need moving pictures and sound and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it could definitely be something in the future that I would be interested in.
Good.
We're just
good.
going to see how much time I have.
Yeah.
Because teaching is also very time consuming as well.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
It's very time consuming.
Now, in terms of contacts.
Yep, so you can find me on YouTube under Inform, or Science Inform AU is the little slash at the end of the YouTube.
Right.
You can find me on Instagram, Science Inform AU, Facebook as just Science Inform, Twitter, Science Inform AU as well.
Good. Consistent.
So, yeah, definitely. I'm trying to do posts once a day if I can. Sometimes I might not be able to, or I'm working on editing so that I can come down to Sydney. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
But those are all the places that you can find me.
Great. So, thanks for coming down and doing episode 2 with us.
Yeah,
Good luck
definitely.
with the future.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thank you.
Cool.